Hello, Max here. How does a guy attract a girl? What do women find attractive? What do girls want? Will somebody tell me? Well, brother, in this video, I will tell you exactly what women want and how to attract them. Maybe this is you. You talk to a girl, she seems to like you, but a few minutes in the interaction, she starts to lose interest. Or even worse than that, you say hi to girls and immediately consistently they go away and they refuse to engage with you. That sucks. Let's fix it. There are many misconceptions around the idea of what is attractive to women, what are the things and behaviors that guys can do to attract women. Most people dump it down to physical appearance. To attract women, you have to be hot, physically hot and physically attractive. You have to have a chiseled jaw and a very sexy six-pack. But is there more to it? Well, actually, yes. So in this video, I'm going to go over every single thing that you can do to attract women more. As usual, we go deeper in the VIP Mastermind Group because I don't want this video to be 2 hours long. You can find the link below this video. So first, let's start with physical appearance because again, this is what most men think is needed and basically the only thing necessary to attract a woman. She needs to find you physically attractive and that's it. But honest with you, there is more to it. Way more to it. In fact, now I go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, but I slept with a couple hundred women before I even started going to the gym seriously. I didn't notice a difference in the results I'm getting. It's not like girls are going to run away as soon as they take off your shirt and they see you don't have abs. Everywhere in the mainstream, you see guys advertised as being super handsome, and therefore it's easy to think, oh, okay, when you're handsome, that's pretty much all that you need to get girls. In my opinion, there are 2 main reasons why it's easy to think so. First, when you're physically attractive, it's pretty easy to see and to notice. You can very easily, even as a man, watching other men, differentiate between a guy who's physically attractive and a guy who's not physically attractive. And the second thing is that most men think that women like men the same way men like women. That is to say, men like physically attractive women, and most men think that women feel the same way. Most men think that women like physically attractive men, but actually it's different. The way men are attracted to women is not the same way women are attracted to men. There is truth to it. Of course, women like handsome and ripped and fit men, but there is more to it. I want you to keep 2 things in mind here. First, girls have preferences. There are body types, there are hair color, there are eye colors, there are a lot of things about a man's body that a woman might or might not prefer. We all have types that works for men and for women. And in general, women have body preferences. You might be objectively more handsome than your friend, but maybe the girl you're talking to is going to physically be more attracted to the type your friend has. And on top of that, women do not rate men the same way men rate women. Guys tend to rate girls, for example, on a scale from 1 to 10. For girls, it's more like either he's physically attractive and sexy or he's not. It's more like for women, there is no in between. Either she finds you hot or she doesn't. While guys can't find a girl, you know, like kinda sexy, but not main girl kinda sexy, more like side chicks, Saturday night when it's raining kinda sexy, you know what I mean. For girls, it's different. It's either she finds you sexy physically or she doesn't. And so it's important because keep in mind that girls might dislike your body but still be sexually attracted to you. For men, it's kind of hard to dislike a girl's body and to be actually sexually attracted to her. In fact, if you have choice, you're never gonna go for the girl who's less attractive. Personally, I believe that as a man, you should be the complete package and try to maximize and optimize how attractive you are on all fronts. Most women find a lean and muscly body to be attractive and sexy. So go to the gym and try to eat well. Most women like men who look neat, clean, and tidy. So pay attention to your grooming and pay attention to your fashion style. Honest with you, this is the #1 loser excuse I hear all the time. Oh, dating advice doesn't work for me because girls find me ugly anyway. It's like, if you're so ugly that girls don't want to give you the time of the day, you are the problem. So go and do something about it. Put down the cheeseburger, shave that ugly beard and go get a haircut. And generally anyway, I believe that every man, provided he puts himself to it, can become at least a 7 out of 10 in terms of looks and physical appearance. But as I said, most of the time appearance is not a problem. It's not the deciding factor. It's actually misunderstanding what women find attractive in a man and making obvious mistakes. So let's move on to more subtle ways to attract women. Being socially dominant is a huge one. It's made up of 3 things, mostly being a leader, being the center of the attention, and being emotionally unreactive. It's more about what you don't do here than what you actually do, and that's why it's hard to notice and to implement. It's about getting rid of your bad habit, getting rid of your needy behavior, getting rid of your hesitation, getting rid of what shows that you're not actually confident in what you're doing. Some people call doing these things right simply being mature, and I think that's a great and simple way to put it. You know, it's a problem for you if, for example, your interactions with girls start off well, but very quickly, a few seconds or a few minutes in the interaction, you notice that she's losing interest. You start losing her attraction for you. I will give you a few examples of techniques that you can do, but I want you to understand that this is more of an inner game issue. This is more of an inner talk kind of thing. It's more about the way you are as a person in general than the things you actually do, because the things you do are just the reflection of the way you view yourself and the way you are as a person. If you fix the inside, the outside is going to fix itself. Now, if you want me to tell you exactly what to change in your behavior and how to change it, feel free to schedule a call with me and we will talk about it. But here are some of the most common things that you can do to become more socially dominant. Learn not to care about others' negative opinion of you. And in general, learn to develop a thicker skin when it comes to criticism. A lot of people, they don't do what they actually want to do because they are afraid of being criticized for it. They are afraid of being judged for it. You have to become free of that. How can you express yourself in an attractive way to women you meet if you're actually afraid to express yourself freely and to do what you really want to do? It's like, you can't. How can you approach a girl that you find attractive if you're afraid that other people are going to see you approach her and judge you for it? It's just an example, but see, once you fix this inside thing, you directly on the outside get more results, because if you're not afraid of people judging you, you have more opportunities to talk to more women. That's why it's important also to practice being the center of the attention. It's not comfortable for nobody. Nobody is born charismatic. Nobody is born comfortable being the center of the attention. In fact, by default, everyone is more comfortable being a little bit on the side, being a spectator. Also, you need to remove any filter to your speech. This is extremely important. 100% of what you think, you should be able to say it without censoring yourself. Now, I'm not telling you to be stupid and to say things that are going to hurt people. You still have to be smart about what you're going to say. You still have to think, okay, is this going to serve me? Is saying this thing going to get me closer to my goal? But the point is, whenever you feel like saying something, you should not censor yourself and think, for example, oh, I can't say that, or people are going to dislike me, or they are going to hate it, they are going to disagree with my opinion, they are going to think I'm silly for thinking that. Again, I know it's easy to misinterpret this and to twist this. When I'm telling you to unfilter your speech 100%, I'm not telling you to go around and insult people because you feel like it. But the point is, when you want to say something and you think it's risky, but you still want to say it, just go ahead and say it. And see, doing these things is going to have you, well, first be the center of the attention, because everyone is scared to truly be themselves. But also the fact that you say things that force you to back up what you say, to stand behind your words, shows that you're super confident, and that's super attractive. Yes, people are going to dislike it and people are going to dislike you, but it's the fact that you're able to thrive even though people dislike you, even though people criticize you, that's super attractive to women. And in general, you need to move interactions forward and take the lead whenever you can. You should never ever again be this passive spectator waiting for things to happen. There again, it's subtle. I'm not telling you to always be pushing the group to go somewhere, to always leading people to go somewhere, to do something for the sake of it. But when a situation is stuck and you think or you know that it will be beneficial to move this situation forward, don't wait for somebody else to do it. Be the one to do it. Very simple, very practical example. When you're out with the bros, there is always this moment when you're like, okay, so what do we do now? When you have this what do we do now situation, are you the guy who's gonna wait for somebody else to propose something, or are you the guy who's gonna propose something? you should be the guy who's gonna propose something. Always think to yourself, how can I become an actor of what's happening instead of being a spectator? See your life as a movie, starring yourself as the main character, and always try to think, how can I make this a cool movie? What cool thing can the main character do right now in the movie that is my life? Now let's talk about your subcommunication and your body language. That's another huge pillar of what women find attractive, because this is what women will see about you before you even open your mouth to say anything. When you approach her, how do you move? How do you carry yourself? How do you position your body? And of course, not only when you approach her, but when you are in an interaction with her, how do you behave? How is your body evolving in that socially tense environment? You know you need to improve in that area if, for example, you're uncomfortable meeting women in places where you can't talk, for example, in a nightclub or in a loud bar. And don't tell me that you're at ease doing that, because I swear, bro, I go out every weekend. I think in the past year, I met like 3 guys who are actually able to meet girls in loud clubs. So I think everyone can learn from this. Here we are really looking and paying attention to the way you move your body, the way you position your body, the way you're going to tell things to the girls by the way you move yourself. The more open and confident and relaxed your body language is, the better. And let's talk a little bit about how you can do that. Keep your back straight as much as possible. Very often I see this combination of guys who don't go to the gym and who are not really confident, who have low self-esteem, and as a result they move around the clubs with their shoulders slouched inward like that, and that's super unattractive. It really communicates to women watching you, even the girls you don't talk to. It tells them 100% that you're not really confident and that you're not at ease in this environment, and that's actually the opposite of being attractive. Keep your back straight. If really it's hard for you to do that, go to the gym and do some back exercises. It makes it super easy to carry yourself way better. Pay attention to your eye contact as well. So a rule of thumb that's very easy to live by is to look at people in the eyes and to always be the last one to break eye contact. I swear to you, the day you start doing that, you will realize that most people can't handle having a strong, firm eye contact with strangers. Everyone is freaking out. And people are not freaking out because it's weird to hold eye contact. It's just that most people have such low self-esteem on a base level. Like the average population has such a low base self-esteem that most people can't hold eye contact. So obviously, when you're able to do that, you stand out like crazy. Right here, I'm in my apartment. I know when I go down later to grab dinner, I will cross path with some people in the hallway, in the elevator. I will say hi, or I will nod, and I will look at them in the eyes, and I know like 90% they are all going to look down when they say hi. That's how low the bar is. That's how easy it is to stand out. Next up, don't be afraid to take space with your body. And in general, don't feel sorry for the space you're taking for yourself. I'm not telling you to be an asshole, and when you're using the subway, you take the space of 3 people. But in general, move normally and don't feel discomfort for taking the space that your body is taking. Don't be afraid to stand in the middle, to take your space and to be seen. If you are there and people want to be there too, don't extract yourself from the situation. They move around you, or they tell you that they too would like some space. But don't by default move away from situations because you're afraid to bother other people. And of course, lead and escalate physically. If you're in an environment where you can't talk, how are you gonna lead a girl if you don't take her hand and you don't lead her around? If you're in a place where girls can't hear what you say, how are you gonna start a conversation if you don't use your body to connect with her body? And I know it sounds funny, I know it sounds weird, but when you are in a loud ass club and you need to be screaming in people's ears for them to hear what you say, how are you gonna start a conversation with a girl if you don't actually grab her hand or poke her on the shoulder so she notices you? Most people are afraid to do these things. If you're able to confidently do it, and of course, without making the girl uncomfortable, without having your touch be too strong or too aggressive, it's another topic. But when you do these things properly, because nobody else is able and confident enough to do it, you stand out. I know it's a little bit of a nuclear advice, but honest with you, these days when I go to clubs, I know it's so loud, you can't even talk. So most of my interactions start by me grabbing the girl, a little bit of a hand of God, a little bit of the claw, if you know, you know. But it works like crazy. And if you really think about it, that's actually the proper socially calibrated way to start a conversation with a person in a place where it's too loud to talk. Now let's talk about actually demonstrating your value properly with the words that come out of your mouth, with the things you say once you're in a conversation with a girl. Pickup artists call this the DHVs, how to demonstrate that you have a high social value. And in simple terms, it's basically telling the girl why you're cool and awesome and why she should go home with you. It's bragging, but done in a subtle and useful way. If so far you've done everything right with your nonverbal communication on your way to approach the girl, when you start the conversation with her, of course she will be curious to know more about you, because so far you've been carrying yourself the way attractive men carry themselves. Through small talk, you will get to know her, she will get to know you, she will actually ask you questions, and it's in answering those questions that you will do those DHVs. It's in answering questions like, for example, what do you do for a living, that you're going to let her know that what you do for a living is fucking awesome. It's not about running up to girls and be like, look at this watch, it's 50k. By the way, my Bugatti is sitting in front of the bar. It's about being normal and getting girls curious to get to know you more, and just dropping a few hints about why you're so awesome when they ask to know more about you. Now, of course, to have amazing things to share and cool stories to share with the girls that you meet, you need to be doing things with your life. Just make sure that when you meet girls, you drop 2 or 3 things that are amazing about you here and there in the conversation. In the Mastermind Group, I've prepared dozens of those DHVs, and I also explain to you how you can come up with your own that are a reflection of your own life in an attractive way. More info again below this video in the description. And that's pretty much it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. Consider subscribing if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys next time.